I learned the hard way, so here's 3 mistakes I made when I first started teaching yoga and what I do differently. Mistake number 1. I'm guessing you started teaching yoga because you love it, but then the reality of driving to the studio every day, setting up the mats, greeting your students, teaching the class, tidying up afterwards, and then driving to the next studio to repeat it all again starts to sink in. And before you know it, at the end of the week, the thing that you love is now the thing that's burning you out. Sound familiar? I call this getting stuck in the class trap, and it's how I ended up teaching 18 classes a week when I was 23. And when you need to make a living, it seems like the best solution is just to teach more classes, but it's not, because you'll always be limited by how many classes you can physically teach that week. So my advice is, instead of focusing on teaching classes, look at other alternatives: workshops, events, trainings, online courses, online subscriptions. There are so many ways that you can teach yoga beyond in-person classes that are unsustainable and will burn you out. This leads me into mistake number 2, which is not thinking about longevity. Let me paint a picture for you. You start teaching yoga in your 20s or 30s when you've got more energy and you feel physically able. So you're demonstrating all of the poses, you're really active in class, and everything's going good for a while. But then you start to pick up a few niggles, you get the occasional injury, and all of a sudden those 15 classes a week are taking their toll. And when that happens, it's time to start thinking differently about how you teach and how you practice. Because sure, doing all of the demonstrations and all of the physically challenging things is great in your 20s and 30s. But will you have the energy and the ability to do that in your 40s and 50s? A better question, will you want to in your 40s and 50s? So if you're not thinking about the longevity of your teaching career now, then it's time to start. Now, the last and biggest mistake I made was not going online sooner. Because when you teach in your local area, it's likely that you're going to be limited by how many people in that area are interested in what you're teaching. And if you're from a small town like me, then it's likely that the pool of people interested in yoga isn't that big. Whereas if you go online, the pool of people interested in yoga is significantly bigger. Going online also means you give yourself more options. Compare these 2 scenarios. Option 1. You teach in your hometown at studios, doing classes, workshops, and maybe the occasional event. Option 2. You teach the occasional class in person, but mostly online, doing classes, workshops, events, programs, trainings, and maybe you even go into doing other things because now you've got the time and energy as a result of going online. I learned the hard way starting off with option 1, but my advice is to not wait. Even if you're a little bit more introverted like me and talking to camera feels strange and a little scary, don't wait, start now, because in time you'll progress, it will feel more comfortable, and this is how you can make teaching yoga a more sustainable career. I hope you enjoy the video. Let me know what you'd like to see next on the channel.